What is going on, beautiful people? We are coming off a banger roundtable parlay that smacked. We lost the Cerrone portion of it, but it still paid about 6-1. And I will say, people brought the heat last week. We had a big list of guest names. Everybody brought the fire. We had like 15 or 16 guests total. Of everybody that came on, only 2 gave out a losing pick. And those 2 will be returning today. So I'm going to give them some funny business for it. But overall, just a really strong showing. Hoping we can replicate that this week with what I think is a pretty solid card, a fun card. A lot of bangers on this fight card that I'm excited to talk about. So without further ado, we're going to get things going with our leadoff hitter, Andrew Gomez. He is not at the gym this week. What's up, bro?
I'll be there in about 20 minutes. But thanks for having me. As always, we put together a little bit of a hot streak going, so hoping to keep the ball rolling here. I'm going with Caitlin Chookagian for today. I think bigger girl, better striker. I think she has defensive grappling chops to keep this one upright. Ribas, I think, is very hittable. I don't even know if she'll pursue the grappling with a frequent urgency. She doesn't always do that, even when it's her least path of resistance. I like Chookagian to get it done here. Probably by decision, but a knockout wouldn't shock me either, just given how hittable Ribas is.
Okay, so you're on Chookagian money line. I'm seeing best available is Caesars at -160. I use FanDuel, so I'll put down -172. But you're on Chookagian money line as your best bet of the card. I have a feeling somebody on here might be on the other side of that, so we'll see what they have to say if they can sway the people on it. But Chookagian money line, you've been hot, so I'm not going to doubt you. We'll see what happens tonight. But as always, appreciate a few minutes of your time, and thanks for joining. Best of luck tonight, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I wouldn't want to be the guy that goes head-to-head with Andrew Gomez, so good luck to them. Peace.
It's Liam, by the way. It's Liam. I don't know if he's coming on, but we'll see.
We'll see, Liam.
Yeah, you'll have to talk some smack to him. But thanks, bro. Good luck tonight.
See you, John. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to keep things going. Yeah, I spoiled the teaser there. If Liam wakes up in time, he will be hopping on the show. And I was on, real quick plug, I was on the Lambo Plays podcast with my guy Narco, my guy Tim last night, and Liam was on there as well. So we had a fun 4-person panel. It was a fun show. The chat was roasting me the entire time. It was pretty funny. But we had a long discussion about the Amanda Ribas fight. So if you want, go check that out. They gave away some long shot winners as well. But we're going to keep things rolling to my guy, Billy Briz. And I said I was going to give the 2 people shit who gave out a loser only because we had so many winners last week. So that's why I'm going to call you out. You did give away OSP round 1, round 2. Didn't get there for us. To be honest with you, though, I was on OSP by knockout in that fight. That fight was it was.
I knew it was one of the risks of taking OSP, man.
Yeah, it was just brutal to watch. The only people that lost were us who had money on it, but also just the fans because it was definitely not pay-per-view worthy. But I said I'd give you a little bit of shit for that. So hopefully we can bounce back this week. What you got for us tonight, bro?
Man, I feel cliche saying this, but there's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Caitlin Chookagian by decision. FanDuel's leaving some money out on the table at +120 by decision. I see -115 market price. FanDuel, hey, you guys want to put up the props late? Well, we're just going to have to hit it a little bit harder on the day of. +120, Caitlin Chookagian by decision. I think she is probably going to win this fight pretty easily over Ribas. Even if she does get taken down, I feel like her jiu-jitsu would be good enough to get back up on the feet. And, Apex, I might be a little bit of a simp for the blondes and the Kelly Clarksons out there in the world, but my girl Chookagian gets the job done through in and throughout, and I like her to win by decision. I'll probably be parlaying the fight goes the distance, because why would you bet a decision prop in sports betting without betting the fight goes to decision? It makes no sense.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. A lot of Chookagian love this week. I'm not fully surprised, but surprised that multiple people on this show are going to pitch that. So this could be a hot topic, because I have a feeling people might be on the other side. As I told Andrew, I think if you are going to bet Chookagian, though, the decision prop, like you said, I honestly don't think she has really any finishing upside. Like, I know Amanda Hebos is a little bit chinny, but she's moving up to 125. And honestly, Chikagian hasn't shown any semblance of power. No knockouts in the UFC. I think she has 2 knockouts on her record, and one was like a random knee that caught an opponent on the regional scene. And I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, I think if you're backing Chikagian, back her by decision. I'm more on the Hebos side, but so far, no bet for me. We'll see what happens with the rest of the show, but I got you down. Billy Briz, Chikagian by decision plus 120. Any long shot you want to give out this week?
No long shots for me. I'm interested to see if my boy Liam makes it back from the casino in time to come up on here, because we got the live stream tonight at Pub Sports Radio. I got the shirt on right here, and he's going against me. And rarely do I like to go against Liam, but hey, if you want to see some live reactions and some live bet cast tonight, make sure you come tune in. But Prize Picks played this weekend, actually. Kude Alaba over on his fantasy points. It was at, I think it was 95 and a half.
93 or something, yeah.
Yeah, I have him as the second highest leading scorer on the slate. And then Manuel Torres, baby, under on that fight total. Frank Camacho looking punch drunk. Boy, got to go home, man. Go get that car accident. Go get your last paycheck and get the fuck out the UFC. I don't want to see any more of your fights.
Coming in hot against my guy, Frank the Crank. No, I like that as well. I have a feeling that's going to be another one. People are on the under in that fight, which I like myself. But as always, appreciate your time, bro. Best of luck on the card tonight.
Let's get money, baby.
Let's do it. All right. So through 2, we have 2 Caitlin Chikagian pitches so far. We have Chikagian money line minus 172 by Andrew Gomez, and Chikagian by decision at plus 120 from my guy Billy Briz. We're going to keep things moving to my guy Pepe, who may or may not be on the other side of that Chikagian bet. Is that going to be your best bet of the card?
John Kelly, we have a little problem here this morning.
Let's hear it.
Pepe is coming in with a rebound of.
Oh, you're cutting out, bro. Okay, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you now. You cut out right when you said Hebos.
Yeah, we have a little problem because Pepe's on Amanda Ribas. The first 2 people of the show come on and give minus 170 Caitlin Chookagian. You're paying that much juice for a girl who's going to fight to decision almost every fight. Her win condition is like edge out, a close decision. No, that's not my style. You know how I roll. I'm taking the Macy Chiasons at plus 200, the Sam Hughes plus 200. And I think the Ribas line is a great line at plus 150 available right now. She's got multiple paths of victory. The smaller cage will help. And I heard Gamba say that she doesn't always proactively grapple in her fights, but she's been fighting girls who are more credentialed in jiu-jitsu than Chookagian. So I think she's going to grapple proactively. She's got good volume. I think she's going to be able to get the takedowns. And I think this is closer to like a pick'em fight. So a plus 150 is a great value for me. I'm all over Hebos in this spot.
Absolutely love to see it. Yeah. So when my guy Pepe is backing a WMMA underdog, you guys should probably listen up, because not only did he back Sam Hughes at like plus 200 or something like that, he pitched her as his best bet on the show, cashed it, came back last week. Was it last week, the Macy Chasson fight? I believe it was last week. Yeah. Pitches Chasson as his best bet, cashes a plus 200 there. So if he's pitching Amanda Hebos plus 150, you might want to listen up here.
Yeah, I think people are looking at it too simplistically. Like, oh, Chookagian is bigger and she's gonna outvolume her. She's a better striker, but there's way more that goes into a fight than that. You gotta take it a couple layers deeper. It's going to be a super close fight. If you think she's just going to blow her out of the water, I'd be highly surprised. And you just can't pay that much juice on a WMMA fight unless there's a giant skill gap. And there's not a giant skill gap between Amanda Ribas and Caitlin Chookagian. Like Lupi Godinez, yeah, pay the juice against Carnelossi. She's clearly levels above her. That's not the case here. Amanda Ribas, undefeated in decisions. Amanda Ribas, undefeated as an underdog. She cashed as a plus 150 against Dern and Whitmire, undefeated in flyweight. The sample's small, but like the Ribas at plus 150 is the plus EV spot.
I love it, man. I mean, I might be joining you. Liam and those guys were talking me into it last night. Early in the week, I mean, we're in a Discord together. I was like, everyone's like, Chikagian. And I'm like, I'll say it. I would rather back Hebos here. And I thought I was going to be betting her. And then the more I looked into the matchup, the more I kind of hesitated to where I'm like, okay, maybe I still think she's probably the side, but maybe I don't need to bet on it. But now I'm like, getting FOMO if I don't. Like, I feel like the concern, and to Andrew and Billy's point, like if Hebos can't have grappling success or doesn't land takedowns, I think there's for sure a world where she loses a striking based decision. Honestly, I think she's just as good of a striker as Caitlin. The problem is Caitlin throws a ton of empty volume, and even though she's not doing a ton of damage, she's making the tennis sounds. The judges eat it up. And it's like these super close rounds, they tend to always give it to her, similar to that Arlovsky fight when we got screwed on Jake Collier. So that's like the other side of the coin, is like, that's my worry about backing Hebos. But to your point, like, you're getting a plus 150. You're not laying juice for that style of a fight. So that's why I'm closer to the Hebos side. And I don't know. I still I've honestly been back and forth on whether or not I should bet her. I'm definitely going to play her on DraftKings. But now that the WMMA Whisperer on Underdogs is pitching Hebos as his best bet, that might be the old nudge that I need to get involved here.
Yeah, and a lot of Chukagian strikes are kick-based too, so that can open up potential grappling sequences too. And it's a smaller cage. The UFC loves Amanda Hebos too, so I think she could get the rub from the judges too if it's a close round. I think they want to push her as a contender. So I definitely consider that stuff small when I'm unsure about a decision, but I'm definitely on Ribas at plus 150, and I know a lot of other sharp people are as well.
Love it, man. I hope she comes through for us. Only time will tell if I'll be joining you, but I'll definitely let you know before the fight kicks off tonight at 7:30. Appreciate you joining, Pepe. Best of luck on the card tonight.
You too, bro.
Later. All right, moving right along. And I do want to shout it out, just so we kind of switched up the format last week. Anybody who's on this show that wants to hop back on stream at the end to help cook up the parlay, much appreciated, because the more minds, the merrier. We cooked up a parlay last week together. That was the first time we did it that way, and it cashed. We lost that one leg, but it was like plus 600 or something. Came through for the first time. So anybody that wants to come back at like 12:30, 12:40, somewhere around there, we'll cook it up together. But we're going to keep things moving. I got Pepe down for Hebos on the money line at plus 150 range. Highly debated fight this week. And I have a feeling it's not going to be the last time somebody pitches that fight, but hopefully we get some of these other fights to talk about. A lot of bangers on the card. We're going to my guy Lou, who is, powering through the Sixers loss like a champ, but got to do what we got to do, man. What you got for us tonight, bro?
I can't believe you're going to go against the pride of Norristown, Pennsylvania, and Caitlin Chukagian there, but I'm going to pick not that fight to talk about.
Thank you.
I'm going to go, last week I had a push because the Cerrone fight got canceled. I'm going to take the Camacho Torres fight. Fight doesn't start round 3. Sitting at minus 128 at FanDuel. I mean, Camacho, outside of like a weird 3-fight stretch, hasn't had any decisions in 8 years, and Torres is 13 out of 14 inside the distance. So I got doubts about Camacho's chin. There's durability issues. Torres, though, making his debut. So we don't really know. Smaller cage is going to favor this. So I think minus 128 is a steal. It's sitting at minus 150 everywhere else, but I think that's the safest violence play. And, my long shot play of the week.
It's the nut shot in the Michael Johnson, Alan Patrick fight.
The Yam Bag Special, 20-1. You can get it on DraftKings and Betway. And there's really no other way that fight can end other than like a blatant ball shot.
I mean, I personally am hoping for Patrick by submission. I gave that away as my Lambo play on Narcos show last night at plus 850. Michael Johnson's been subbed 9 out of 17 of his losses. He's been subbed like every possible way you can get subbed. Oh, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think it's an irresponsible number there.
For what it's worth, anybody backing Johnson, just know he's 3-8 as a favorite, and he's 4-1 as an underdog. So if if he feels like he's frustrating, if he feels like he's been frustrating to bet, that's why. So.
Absolutely. I got you down for Camacho Torres fight doesn't start round 3 at minus 128. I absolutely love that bet. I'm going to be betting that individually after this show. And then I want that to be an anchor in our parlay, but we'll see once we get to the end of the show. But appreciate you, Lou. Best of luck on the card tonight, bro.
Good luck, my man.
All right. Moving things right along. Yeah. So Camacho Torres, the bet that he pitched, fight doesn't start round 3, minus 128. I mean, what are we doing? Like, before we move on, I want to say real quick, like, this reminds me of the Daniel De Silva, Figueiredo fight. Like, De Silva had basically never been to round 3. I can't remember off the top, but I'm pretty sure he never been to round 3 before in his career. And the under 2.5 was like implied odds at like 50% or something like that. Like, what are we doing? Like, we know how this guy fights, and Torres is the same way. He's been to round 3 once in his career. Majority of his fights end inside the first round, whether he wins or loses. And then on the Frank Camacho side, he's been knocked out 5 times. 4 of those came inside the first round. Like, I really think it's a high variance fight where it ends early. So fight doesn't start round 3 at minus 128. You're not paying a ton of juice. I really like that spot. I like it so much. I just dropped my pen. Oh, I'm in shambles. All right, we are going to move right along to my guy, Josh, who is waiting patiently. He is hard at work today. What is going on, my man?
Super hard at work today.
Love it.
What's up, bud? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
I would be better if I didn't watch that 5-round barn burner last week. Unfortunately.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because you are the other person out of the entire stream, just to make you feel good. Out of the whole stream, you and Billy were the only ones to pitch a loser. So not only did Rose not look minus 2,000, she didn't come through and win in what was probably the ugliest fight I've ever seen. The Adesanya Romero, that fight was just as bad, but I think this one might have been worse. I think this one might have been a little bit worse. Yeah.
But I think it was
just a disaster. Yeah, but hopefully we can get things back in the win column here. What you got for us tonight, bro?
So hold on one second. Sorry. I like Angela Hill plus 170. Sorry, my door's locked now. Oh. Okay, Angela Hill plus 170, then Patrick by KO or TKO plus 550.
Okay. We got Angela Hill on the money line plus 170. And then what was it?
Patrick by KO or TKO.
Patrick. Oh, KO. Okay. And what was the number on that?
Plus 550.
Plus 550. As your long shot. Okay. I'm on the Jandaroba side, so I'm going to be rooting against you again here, just because Jandaroba is my biggest play of the week. I got her at minus 150, I think, to win 1.5 units there. So I like Jandaroba, but I get the angle for Hill. Like, if she can survive and not get submitted, maybe she takes over late like she typically does, and then it ends up being a competitive decision where we see the scorecards. So I don't hate it.
Well, in the third round, John, if it's going to decision, Angela Hill I don't think she's won a decision in UFC. So if it goes to the third round, it's looking like it's going to decision. And if you're getting plus money on a Jandaroba, I would take it in the third round.
Okay, so possible live spot there. The only issue is Jandaroba looked kind of gassed in the third against Amanda Hebos. I know the level of competition was a little bit different there, but all right, I got you down for Angela Hill, money line plus 170, Patrick by KO at plus 550. I prefer the sub, but I don't hate the long shot against a guy who is historically a stunt puller like Michael Johnson. But appreciate you joining, bro. I know you're busy and you need to get back to work, so I'm going to let you go. Best of luck on the card tonight.
Thanks, John. Have a good day.
You too. Later. All right, moving right along. Hopefully we didn't get Josh fired there. He was giving out his play. I don't know if that was a supervisor or coworker. They might not like the gambling talk in the office in the corporate world. But we don't care about the suits. We're sticking it to the man, giving out winners on the Best Bets Roundtable. We're going to keep things moving to my guy Dylan, who is always down to hop on here post-workout from the gym and give us a winner. What's up, bro?
Actually, I'm not at the gym. I went earlier this morning. I'm actually going to a lilac festival right now. I live in Rochester, and the lilacs are blooming, so it's a festival going on right now. I don't know if you can tell, dude. My head, I was on a boat yesterday, and my head
looks a little
is
sunburnt.
like a tomato. Yeah. Oh my god,
it's not terrible. I just saw like a little bit of red. Yeah,
yeah, but it's bad because the top of my head here, back, all white. The front, all red. So
nice.
I got a fun little look going. So I have Patrick too, but I did by KO or sub on FanDuel for plus 370. I think he finishes Michael Johnson here. That's my best bet. I have two other bets that I have too. Jan is plus 350, I believe it is, on FanDuel by sub or decision. That's a bet I like. And then I like Louis Smolka by sub or decision plus 370 on FanDuel. Or I'm sorry, that's not plus 370. That's plus 300.
All right. So Alan Patrick inside the distance plus 370. Long shots on sub or decision props for Jan Blachowicz and Louis Smolka. Is that right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Awesome. And I respect the Patrick inside the distance, man. I wasn't expecting him to be like a popular play, but I mean, Josh mentioned a long shot on him. You got him inside the distance. I got half a unit on his sub prop at big odds. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he gets it done for the boys. But as always, appreciate a few minutes of your time. Enjoy the festival and best of luck on the card tonight, bro.
Thanks, man. You too. See it.
Later. All right. Patrick, he might be the sleeper this week, you know? People seem to be buying in a little bit on my guy, Alan Patrick. All right, so we're gonna move right along to my guy Evan. What is going on, bro?
John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. You watching some tape in the background there? What's going on?
Yeah, Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida. It's tape never stops.
I mean that goes right along with the Patrick narrative because after watching that fight, I mean he's completely untrustworthy.
They're both untrustworthy in my opinion. So I do like the Patrick inside the distance talk that we've heard so far. I'm gonna take a more conservative route on this fight. I'm going inside, or fight doesn't go the distance, plus 110 on FanDuel. I think it's a very binary fight. Like, I watched earlier in the week the Alan Patrick versus Mason Jones fight. I watched a few of his fights. His takedown entries are getting worse, in my opinion. Like, he didn't really commit to his shots against Mason Jones, and he was just getting tagged on the feet. Almost got stopped in the first round, and then they had that weird like eye poke thing in the second round. Now, if Michael Johnson, who has a decent sprawl, it's weird because Michael Johnson's still one of these guys who like flat out sprawls in the middle of the cage. Like most guys are looking for a whizzer and trying to use the cage to defend takedowns now. Michael Johnson, we know that he is a horrible submission grappler. And it's not like Alan Patrick has a ton of subs, but he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's reliable to shoot takedowns. And he lands over 3 takedowns per 15 minutes. So I think if Patrick is successful in his approach, Michael Johnson, if there was a guy that he could sub in the UFC, I think it's Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson is a horrible submission grappler, and he just kind of folds on the mat. Whereas I also think if Johnson stays upright, he's, I think, going to land some pretty hard straight lefts as like Alan Patrick just kind of runs into punches. So I'm going with does not go the distance, plus 110 on FanDuel. I think that's good value. I think if these guys fight 100 times in their current form, I think that probably hits like 65, 70% of the time. So that's my best bet. Now, I'll say this too as a little caveat. I don't love a lot on this card. Like last week, that under 2.5 in the main event, the Gagey Oliveira, that line like smacks you in the face. Like I couldn't stop betting it. I don't see that this week. I'm looking for value. This is my favorite spot on the card. Does not go the distance. It's plus money. But I think it's a tough card, if I'm being honest. So I'm a little lighter this week. So that's where I'm going.
Interesting. I actually like a few spots this week. I think it's like a sleeper type card, but maybe I'm just a degen. But I do like your best bet though. Fight doesn't go the distance. Patrick versus Johnson. I agree with basically everything you said. Other people have pitched Patrick inside the distance. I hope he gets the sub. But also on the flip side, like I think more likely than not, Johnson probably wins. But he's just a stunt puller. Like I don't favor him to win at whatever juice he's at, like minus 150 or whatever. Like I wouldn't bet him there. But to your point, like Patrick, he's knocking on the door 40. He's kind of a quitter himself. Like he can get knocked out here, especially if the fight does get extended. I think the speed is going to be a big factor in favor of Michael Johnson. So if he can sprawl and brawl and keep it standing, then yeah, I think he can get a finish too. So I don't hate that, not picking a side in this one and just taking a violence prop fight doesn't go plus 110. So hoping you stay hot. I believe this is like the 7th week you've done it. And I think you've only given out one loser of all those weeks. So one of the hotter analysts on this show, no pun intended. But I am, when I do have time, I do want to point out I'm going to go back and listen and then log everybody's win-loss record just so people know. And then instead of having the name, or in addition to the name, I'll add a banner at the bottom that will say your record. So that way it gives you guys a little bit of street cred. Like, okay, yeah, I'm the man. I'm 6-0, or I'm better than so-and-so, or maybe you're just embarrassed, like 0-12. Nobody's been that bad, but just saying. And obviously the odds matter too. Like some people give out more long shots, but I did want to mention that because that's something I am going to do. But appreciate you joining, Evan. Hopefully the Patrick Johnson side ends early and we can cash that ticket. Best of luck on the card tonight, bro.
All right, man. Good luck.
You too. All right, moving right along. We are going to my guy making his follow-up performance to the stream. We got my guy Mike, the Couch Warrior. He gave us Fialo by knockout. Got a little sketchy in the beginning there, but then he came back and absolutely killed Van Camp with the hook there. So, yeah, what's going on tonight, bro?
How's it going, John? So here's what I'm thinking. I was a bit torn between two of the women's fights. I'm fairly confident in both of them, Hill and Lee, but I am going to go with Lee for my best bet.
Yeah,
she's sitting at like minus 120 right now, and I honestly think that she could have been favored even a little bit more. Like the real only threat here to be worried about, and it's a fair threat, is the takedowns from Araujo. Those are going to be there. She can probably get some top control. I just think that Lee's been improving, and she's already been really good. So, and on the feet, I think she's going to be much better, quicker, better output, just more technical. And yeah, I think she's going to get a decision win. I have that sprinkled too, but I'm playing the money line at minus 120. You can't really go wrong. And I do have two long shots I'd like to give, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Let's hear them.
So one of them I think is already fairly common right now. Maximov round 3 submission plus 2,000. And then the one that I really like that I think probably no one else is on is Candelario round 3 KO. It's plus 4,700 right now. And look, I just think that Candelario is significantly better than Tyra on the feet. And Tyra's been to round 3 like once or twice, I think 2 times. And we don't know how he's going to look. He's going to be grappling the whole time. He's grapple heavy. That can lead to cardio issues. If he's tired out by round 3 and they're standing, I think a KO for Candelario is live. And at plus 4,700, like I can't pass that up personally.
Yeah, so a couple things I want to talk about there. For starters, though, my worry with the Candelario plus 4,700, I mean, I'm sure it's not a big bet, so it's whatever. My worry would be he did look like he saw a ghost on the scales. Like he looked like he was knocking on death's door. So I don't know if the cardio is going to be, he hasn't had bad cardio in the past by any means. But I don't know if it's going to be as good into round 3 with such a tough weight cut. And he pulled out the last time they were scheduled to fight with an illness. So I don't know. He's kind of sketchy to me. But I don't have a play on it either way, so I can't really knock it too much. Love that you pitched the Andrea Lee fight. I'm on Lee as well at minus 115 for a unit. I just think she's really surging right now. And you can make an argument like a lot of the decision losses that she had, she may have won. They were very, very close decisions. And yes, she gets taken down like at inopportune times. but Vivi doesn't have the cardio to fight a hard 15. And I know Andrea Lee is going to be fighting for our money into the third round if she needs to. I just think she's really kind of coming into her own, better cardio, better all-around striker. And don't sleep on her getting takedowns either. Like, she's got a nice judo background, especially if Vivi starts to gas. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple hip tosses from Andrea Lee. So Andrea Lee's kind of been a cash cow for me. So I'm going back to the well with you, man. I hope she gets it done for us. Best of luck on the card tonight.
You too, brother.
Thanks, man. All right, moving right along. I'm glad someone pitched Andrea Lee, by the way. Made her my poster for the thumbnail for a reason. But we're going to my guy Lags in sunny Florida. He's trying to stay hot on the show. Is it 2-0 or 3-0 on the stream?
It is 3-0 on the show.
3-0 on stream.
Coming off of a best bet with Oliveira and Gaethje. The under 2.5. We're cashing the Roundtable parlay.
Easy money, bro. Easy.
That was easy. And then second thing I'd like to add, Josh might not be getting fired for coming on your podcast during work, but he might be getting fired for saying Rose is minus 2,000 in that.
He's my boy. I had to give him some shit for that one. I had to.
And then for this week, similar to Evan, I don't really love a ton this week. Like, I don't think there's anything great. But for me, I guess I'll go with the Kudalaba Span, the under 1.5. I bet that at minus 135 on FanDuel. It looks like it's minus 148. To me, Kudalaba's that hammer in the first round. I mean, he 10-8'd Jacoby in their fight. He 10-8'd Devin Clark in their fight. He almost got both of those guys out of there in the first round. I think Span is a horrible nail. I think he's just going to take a beating early, to be honest. And then on the feet, honestly, both guys could finish each other. Both guys have power. But I think Kudalaba is going to be the one getting the finish here in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope so. I love Ian Kudalaba this week and just in general, but Ryan Spann sucks. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I call a spade a spade. I think the dude's a bum. Like, he just doesn't have the durability. And against a guy like Kudalaba, who's going to come out like a bat out of hell in most of his fights. But even if he takes a more reserved approach here, like, we know he can land takedowns. But I just think like the one time where he connects clean on Spann, we see it in every single one of Spann's fights. Like, he's doing the stanky leg every time he gets hit. And against a guy with a ton of power, a ton of first round knockouts, I'm on Kudalaba round 1 knockout. I'm on Kudalaba by knockout. So I absolutely don't hate the play on the under 1.5. And it's not too bad a juice, you said, on FanDuel at minus 148. Yep. So hopefully you can stay undefeated. The only other undefeated guy on the stream who didn't make it today is Zaid. And I think he's like 6-0. So you're a couple behind him. That's okay. But a win this week will get you.
I appreciate the work for putting in that stuff for the stats. You're the man.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. Awesome. I didn't have time this week. I was going to do it last night, but then I went on the Lambeau Place podcast. So I'll have it for next week, though. And that way people will be able to see your guys' street cred. But appreciate
couple more things. So I will stay around for the parlay since we hit it last week. You got to stay around, Yes. And then so for long shots, so I echo Mike's long shot with Maximov. I have Max on FanDuel. They have Maximov wins by submission in round 2 or 3. And I got that at plus 900. It's currently plus 1,000 there. So I got a little bit of worse line value on that. So it is what it is. And then the insurance parlay I'm rocking with this week, I got Maximov inside the distance plus 170. Lee fight goes the distance minus 280. The Camacho fight doesn't start round 3 minus 128. Love that. I know Lou was talking about that. And then Chuk by decision plus 120. So that pays plus 1335.
Okay. So and for those that don't know, his insurance parlay pretty much smacks every week. And for those that don't know, if you make all but one leg, you get refunded up to $25. Okay. Making sure I got that right. And I had to Jonas talking smack about you, so I had to put that up there to try and distract you.
It's all good. And then last thing, I'm doing a little giveaway on my Twitter as well. So you just got to follow me, retweet the tweet, reply a 4-leg parlay, plus 800 odds or better. And then winner gets $25. And then if nobody goes 4-0, we're just going to roll it over to next week.
Perfect. So fun little giveaway, win a cash prize, just do a plus 800 parlay or better. And make sure you're following him. And then I think you said retweet as well.
Yep.
So if you want a chance at free $25, follow Danny Lags at Danny_Lags, who's been giving out winners on the show as well. Best of luck tonight, bro. And I'll see you at the end to hopefully cook up another winner.
Good luck, bro.
Thanks. All right, moving right along. We're going to go to my guy making his debut on stream. We're going to go to MMA Giga Chat, and then we're going to follow it up with my boy Jonah, who you all know and love. And then we're going to cook up something at the end. But making his debut, what's going on, my guy?
Hey, how's it going, John?
Doing well, doing well. How about you? I do want to say most people may know you as Sean Orr in the YouTube streets, so don't get it twisted. What's going on?
Not much. Just trying to enjoy as much sun as I can after a long winter. Just echo what a couple other people said. There's not spots that I love on this card, but there are spots that I like. Unfortunately, a lot of them are chalky, so that makes me like them a bit less. I'm big on Jandiroba here. I think one takedown at best is she wins by sub. At worst, she spends the rest of the round on top. And when I look at fight binaries like that, I think Angela Hill is getting taken down at least once, right? Early, you got to assume. Her takedown defense isn't awful, but she's been taken down and controlled by worse grapplers, right? And she's always struggled facing grapplers in her career. So I know she's the better striker, but she's going to be more reserved and more held back on the feet, worried about the threat of the takedown. That being said, there is the caveat of I'm a little worried about the cardio as far as round 3 or late round 2 goes. So depending, I may be arbing off if the price goes crazy for Hill live. I like to live bet a lot. And I know that after one takedown, sometime on top, Hill's going to be a giant underdog live. So I may throw a couple bucks on there just to cover my ass. But I think Jandiroba rolls here. And yeah, that's my thought.
So did you bet the sub prop as well, or just the money line?
I did bet the sub prop. Sorry, Jandiroba, I bet minus 160. Forgot to say the odds. The sub prop, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did bet that as well.
Awesome. And the best available for Jandiroba right now is minus 185 at BetMGM. I'm right there with you because I bet Jandiroba at minus 150, biggest play of the card. So I basically see it playing out the same exact way. Like, I think Angela Hill's takedown defense has come kind of a long way since the beginning, but she's not facing like people like Michelle Watterson here, where she's able to stuff those weak judo attempts. Like, this is going to be real grappling from Verna Jandiroba, who was able to out-grapple Murado. She was at times, looked good against much better grapplers than Angela Hill. I agree with you. I think she takes her down. She's liable to get a sub. If she doesn't, she's pretty good at holding position against a fighter like Angela Hill. So cardio is a little bit sketchy, but hopefully we don't get a Gina Mazzani repeat as
Oh boy, don't bring that name up.
I bet her too. So I guess I'm a clown, but yeah, so I like it. Jandiroba on the money line. And then I think it was you that told me the reason her last relationship ended was because she couldn't keep her eyes off.
No. It was because she was seeing somebody on the side.
She was seeing somebody on the side. That's what it was. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you, and best of luck on the card tonight.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Absolutely. Next time, bro. See ya. All right, and moving right along to a face that you guys all know and love. It's my guy, Jonah. Welcome back to the stream. What's up, man?
Not much. How are you doing, John? If it looks like I just woke up, it's kind of because I did. You texted me. I felt bad. You texted me like 2.5 hours ago asking if I wanted to be on the show. And then I responded, I just woke up and the show had already started, but we made it. Girlfriend's still asleep, so I'm allowed to talk a little MMA here.
Perfect. Absolutely love to hear it. And don't feel bad not responding, because I'm basically the equivalent of like those LinkedIn bots that just spam everybody. Hey, I'd like to connect with you, blah, blah, blah. Hey, my best bets roundtables this week if you want to join. But yeah, absolutely appreciate you coming on the show. And my guy's been hot, cashing NBA tickets, cashing MMA tickets. What you got tonight?
Yeah. We don't got to talk about the NBA, the unfortunate NBA situation of the last week. We don't got to get into it. Yeah, I'm sorry about the loss. It was a big size wager for me, but I definitely felt for you and all our buddies from the Philly area. In terms of this week, I've heard a couple people on the show since I tuned in this morning saying like they don't love the card. And, I kind of think this is like a sneaky, really good betting card, at least early in the week. I mean, like I have a lot of plays. I think I have 7 or 8. The bad news is like a lot of them have moved pretty significantly to the point where like I don't really want to give them out because I don't think I would play him at this price. Like I played Rakic early, Chookagian early, Camacho, Jandiroba, and I actually played Andre Petrosky early, and I haven't heard anyone talk about him on the show. I played him at plus 350. I think like plus 295s that are still out there are pretty decent. I think he might be a favorite to win round one. You know, I respect fighters like Nick Maximov. You know, people don't think they're like the most entertaining style in the world, and I understand that, but like the guy's a decent single leg. I think he's at a cardio advantage here, but Andre Petrosky to me looks like a guy who pretty good raw athlete. We saw some of his flaws exposed on Tough, just in terms of like staying in fights, potentially not being like the strongest at fighting through adversity. But I think in terms of like his actual MMA game, he's looked pretty solid in the UFC. I mean, the Gilmore fight, he certainly had like a sketchy round, or sketchier than you want to be against Michael Gilmore round. But in general, I think Petrosky's pretty skilled, probably still getting better. And like the guy is a legitimate wrestler, and I think a better submission grappler than Maximov is. So I expect, you know, at least the first 10 minutes scrambles to be pretty competitive. And I think Petrosky has the ability to hurt him on the feet too. You know, not the best striker in the world, but Maximov really offers very little outside a single leg takedown. So I think Petrosky is interesting. It's like a plus 300, plus 295, whatever it is now, dog. And then I like the under in the Kutalaba fight. That's still in range. I played it at under 1.5, minus 135. The reason that I was telling Lags to get off the stream, you took it out of context to try to distract him. But I said I was getting it on, and then I was looking through all my stuff. I only saw like one play that was still, you know, in a playable range. And of course, Lags comes on and takes it. But that makes me feel better about the total. Lags does really well on those. So yeah, I like the under 1.5 in that fight. And then one other thing, like Jandiroba inside the distance, I played her on the money line earlier in the week, which I think has gotten like pretty accurate at this point, close to minus 200. I saw like Jandiroba inside the distance, maybe plus 350 at Caesars last night. And between me and you, I can't bet at Caesars anymore after the PFL debacle of 2022. But I'm trying to find a way if I could get someone, or I won't incriminate myself on the show, but I'm trying to find a way to get a little bit of Jandiroba plus 350 down as well inside the distance. I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and FanDuel, for what it's worth, opened up Jandiroba by sub at plus 350, and I was gonna just smack it, but I'm already like balls deep on Jandiroba this week. And after, you know, Gina Vazani let me down as WMMA chalk, I couldn't bet Jandiroba by sub and the money line. And then if like there's some sort of stunt here, I'm just buried. So I didn't, but plus 350. Now it's like 270. That's about what it is across the market. But I think if you didn't play, like if you missed the early numbers on Jandiroba, and I know you didn't, I think you better at like minus 146. For those that don't know, we don't do the show anymore together, but you can still find all of Jonah's plays on his Twitter. He posts a link to that. I think you better at minus 146. I better at minus 150. Okay, so we got the same thing.
That's my biggest play of the week.
Yeah, and me as well. But I think if you missed the early numbers on Jandiroba, like I wouldn't lay it with her at minus 200 or whatever, or minus 190. But I think if you missed the minus 150s, then I think just play her by sub. Because I think more than likely, if she's implementing the grappling, she has a pretty good chance to sub Angela Hill here, who's been subbed by much worse grapplers than Verna Jandiroba. The only thing I was going to mention about the Petrosky money line in the plus 300 range is the only thing I really like. I agree with most of what you said. The only thing I really, I guess, disagree a little bit is I think Maximov is a better submission grappler, especially like later as the fight goes on. Petrosky's more of a gasser, but I do agree that Petrosky's probably the more dangerous striker. He's a little stiff, but he's definitely more powerful. And Maximov doesn't have much striking defense. And some of the scrambles, especially early, are probably going to be pretty competitive here. So if you're getting a plus 300 underdog, I certainly don't hate it. I'm not on it myself, but I definitely get the angle, especially if you were able to scoop some of those really massive numbers like you did.
Yeah, I agree. And then lastly on the Jandiroba, there have been some places, Caesars like the one I mentioned, a couple of other sports books, where like the subline and inside the distance are like within 5-10 cents of each other in the plus 350 range. I would just play inside the distance there. Like I fully expect if she finishes to be a sub, but at that point it's like less than a 1% chance in implied probability. I think Jandiroba dropped Amanda Hebos her last fight. Yeah, so like Jandiroba, she's not a good striker, but like she throws hard. She's been working on it a little bit. She seems to be improving. So I would opt for inside the distance as long as the price difference isn't, if it's like plus 250 versus plus 175, I would play sub at plus 250. But there's some places that have like sub and inside the distance price identically. And just in general, if that's the case, you should just play inside the distance. It kind of opens you up, ground and pound finish, that sort of stuff. It kind of it allows you to hit in a multitude of ways. So I like the inside the distance there if it's priced similarly, but that's all I got in terms of what's still left in the market.
All right, I appreciate it, bro, and that's a good look as well. I got you down for your best bet, Kudalaba under 1.5, and then I got you down as the Petrosky money line as the longer shot, and Jandiroba inside the distance. As always, appreciate your time and best of luck on the card tonight, bro.
Sounds good, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Later. All right. So we got a lot to work with here. I feel pretty confident. It's similar to last week where I think we had a decent, we had decent confidence going into it. And I feel pretty confident about these ones too. We got a lot to work with here. We got my guy Lags helping me out, helping me cook up a parlay. And I will say it again because I meant to say it in the beginning so people knew. But for anybody that was on stream, if you want to come back, help us cook up a roundtable parlay. It is much appreciated. If not, me and you are going to pull off a duo here and see if we can give away another winner. So we got a lot to work with. So a lot to break down. We had Andrew and Billy come in and pitch Chikagian, but then we had Pepe, who's been scorching on WMMA underdogs.
He said Ribas, yeah.
Pitch Hebas. So that I feel like kind of cancels out the Chikagian.
Yeah.
Like
I myself am on Chuk by decision, but in general, I don't think we should. I don't think we should put that in. Like I think we should take that fight and not put it in the parlay at all.
I agree, but now you're the third person who pitched Chikagian. Now it's tougher for me to ignore.
But it's not my best bet, though. I'm not pitching it as my best bet.
That is
true. This show's more like your best bet. So we'll focus on that. Yep.
Okay, so we can kind of just cancel out the Chikagian Hebos fight. I think I don't feel super confident enough either way. Whether I bet Hebos myself is another story, but I don't feel confident to make either sides of those a best bet. Gotcha. I do think. I think I want to go Kudalaba under, which is the one that you pitched. And I'm not just saying that because you pitched it. Obviously, Jonah pitched it as well. But I'm also on Kudalaba early props. So, I mean, that's 3 right there that like Kudalaba early. So, Kudalaba under 1.5 at only minus 148. I feel like that's a pretty good look. And I feel like it's a decent like parlay piece. Like it's pretty safe. You're not paying an outrageous price tag. Yeah. I don't even need to ask because I know you're confident in that one.
Yes. So hear me out. So this is what I got so far from hearing everybody and whatnot, and the 3 legs that I got, and we can add one more obviously, but like what I got so far.
Yep.
So the under 1.5 span Kudalaba minus 148. The fight does not start round 3. Camacho Torres minus 128.
That was going to be the next one I added.
And then, so I think this is going to work with, Luke touched on it on our podcast a little bit, and I know a couple guys touched on it here. I think the under is actually good in the Jandiroba fight, because obviously a bunch of people like Jandiroba by like inside the distance, but I think if Hill obviously can keep it on the feet a little bit, and like Jandiroba like looked pretty gassed that last fight, she could put it on her late. Like, I mean, Jandiroba's been in wobble before. It's not like Hill is incapable of really hurting people. I know she doesn't really, finish anybody, but it's like, I think more often than not, Jandiroba is going to sub her, but it's like you have the under 2.5 at plus 200. So, I
think that's a decent look for an individual bet. I just don't know if I trust it. Like, I don't love it as much as those other 2. You know what I mean?
No, I don't either. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't, because like I'm not trying to lay Jandiroba minus 196. I'm seeing that on FanDuel. Like that's not great. And then her inside the distance is plus 200, I guess. But
so
it's a tough week for sure.
Yeah, it is. So Kudalaba spawn under 1.5 minus 148. Camacho Torres fight doesn't start round 3 minus 128. I feel like those we can just lock those in, right?
Yeah. So that's plus 198 right there.
So so we're right in the plus 200 range. So depending on our third leg here. So as you guys know, we like to get 4. But if we have good enough odds for 3, we can keep it at 3.
How do we feel about this? Actually, I know Evan mentioned it, and I know a lot of people touched on the Patrick side too.
That's what I was going to bring up.
The fight doesn't go the distance. Plus 110. Yeah, that's not bad. Those three are plus 526 at the moment.
So what if we? Okay. Hang on. Let me add this up. So if we add, so we have the two locks, which are fight doesn't start round 3, Camacho Torres, and Kudalaba spawn under 1.5. Those are free. So we're just gonna add those in. That's plus 198 on FanDuel.
Yep.
Then we go the Patrick Michael Johnson, because multiple people mentioned Patrick.
Right.
And
I think it's a pretty binary fight too. It's like,
and that was Evan's official best bet is fight doesn't go the distance at plus 110. So, and that's available on FanDuel. So those three, what if we add Andrea Lee money line? That boosts us up to over 10-1. So we get plus 1049.
Or
are you confident?
I'm looking at. I'm not. Listen, I don't mind the Lee side, and like I'm picking her to win too. But I think it's a sketchy, close fight where, again, like people mentioned on the pod, on the roundtable. I think Araujo can get takedowns. I think it's going to be sweaty, but I think she's also going to gas if she takes that route. So it's like I'm not super confident in it. Yeah, you could goes the distance. I think, to be honest with you, and I have it in my insurance parlay now that they let you parlay over minus 200 odds now. I have the fight goes the distance. I think minus 280 is actually like value still, even at that line.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I feel pretty strongly it goes the distance. The only thing is, like, if Vivi completely gasses, like, Lee could get a finish.
So if you wanted to throw in, so that we had those first three, and then you take Lee by decision at plus 145, that 4-leg is plus 1435.
I was gonna say if I'm adding Lee, I'm going money line.
Okay.
Just in case. Okay. I'm either going fight goes the distance as a whole or Lee money line, because I think if there is a finish, it comes from the Lee side for sure.
I mean, so if we had
fight goes the distance minus 280. That's plus 750.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's plus 750 right now. That's not bad for a 4-leg.
Yeah, so I was gonna bust out the mimosas. Obviously, I'm a superstitious guy. Like, we smacked the parlay last week on the mimosas. I was gonna bring them back. Had no OJ in the fridge. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's amateur hour. So had to stick with the Michelob Ultras. We do have a lot of love out there for Andrea Lee, but I feel like
I've seen that. I'm still looking.
I feel like the goes the distance is just a little bit safer.
I just think it's a sketchy close
that
fight,
we all think goes
that
to
Lee could give up takedowns. It could get sweaty. Like, Lee's the one to give up takedowns like in such inopportune times. I like Lee, don't get me wrong, but I just think it's like,
yeah. And Jonah's on goes to decision minus 260. Yeah. He didn't mention it, but he put it in the chat. So, and then Mbaye already mentioned fight goes the distance. Yeah. So I know my guy Nick's on Andrea Lee with me as well. Yeah. But let's not jinx Andrea Lee. We'll just go fight doesn't go, or fight goes the distance instead of jinxing my girl KGB Lee. So okay. So we got Frank Camacho, Manuel Torres. Fight doesn't start round 3 minus 128. Ian Kudalaba, Ryan Spann under 1.5 minus 148. Alan Patrick, Michael Johnson, fight doesn't go at plus 110. And Andrea Lee, Viviane Araujo, fight goes the distance minus 280. 4-leg parlay pays out plus 750.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty. That might be it. That might be. Are we going back to back this week?
I think we're doing it. I think we gotta get on the board.
I mean, priority number 1 is always to get on the board. We met that goal, exceeded that goal, and honestly, I feel like we were robbed with the Cerrone fight getting canceled. Like, I mean,
dude, that was literally my insurance parlay. Well, it was last week. That was my 4 legs. That fell off. So I needed all 3 to hit, and then of course OSP Shogun fight didn't. I had the under there, and that was like one of the most boring fights outside of the Carla fight.
Oh, so it was like, terrible.
Jesus. So that was horrible. So
all right. Well, I feel good about this. And Wheezy in the chat said that he parlayed that as well to go the distance. So that's just even more confidence that we need. So that's going to be it, guys. As always, I'm going to cook up the graphic put it out on Twitter at John Kelly DFS. Before we get out of here, I did want to do a quick plug. Thrive Fantasy. It's a smaller site, but sometimes these smaller sites, better way to get your money in this weekend. They're a UFC contest where you pick 5 props. Some of their lines are, let's just say, beatable. You pick 5 props, and basically you go up against a bunch of other people that pick 5 props, and it's based on their scoring system. Their first place prize is $2,500, but currently only like 106 people, at least before the stream, were registered, and the contest pays out 110. So I'm sure more people are going to get into it, but as of the last time I checked, you're literally getting paid to enter that contest. So if you don't have an account at Thrive Fantasy, use my promo code John Kelly DFS. It is much appreciated. It helps you guys out because they give you a deposit match up to $100, and it helps me out because I get paid for promoting their website. So as always, guys, appreciate it. I'm going to tweet out the graphic. Let me know if you're tailing, especially if we cash one like we did last week. It makes it more fun because then I could brag about you guys on Twitter. And appreciate you sticking around late, Danny, and helping me cook up this winner. So best of luck, everybody, and we will see you guys next time.
Yep. Best of luck, everybody.